So it's official, Commodore is back. Hey everyone, this is Barry from Music Tech Info. Hope you're doing well. So my first ever computer was a Commodore 64 bread bin, and I absolutely loved that thing. I can't remember exactly the ages that I was when I had that computer, but it was just amazing. Now, recently my father took it down from the loft, which I didn't even know it was still there, but it wasn't working, and from memory it stopped working before I put it up there. So it was a shame to kind of lose it. So then I've been following Perifactic quite a lot on YouTube in terms of his retro recipes, and he gave an announcement not so long ago that he was acting CEO of the Commodore brand. So I thought that was really exciting, and the community are kind of torn by opinion at the moment. Some are like, oh, it's not authentic or whatever. I mean, from Perifactic's point of view, they've acquired the Commodore trademark. I think 19 of them, and cost I think over $2 million to do that. And what he's managed to do is actually get some of the previous workers for Commodore back as part of this company. So I was really pleased when literally 2 days ago this dropped, and I was blown away because they're saying this isn't an emulator, this is the Commodore 64 brought back all this time later, which is really cool. And it's been modernized with USBs and that kind of thing. Now it is a kind of Kickstarter, but it's not via Kickstarter website, that kind of thing, because they were worried about the amount of fees they'd have to pay for that. So they've decided to do it on this website, which is commodore.net. Now, the reason why I'm featuring this on the channel is because, yes, it's Music Tech Info, but in the Commodore 64, you've got what's called a SID chip, and it was its own kind of synthesizer, its own kind of audio chip that could play that style of music. And I will be going into the SID chip a bit more in terms of the articles and what kind of music was produced from it in future videos. So if you are interested, make sure you subscribe. I do have a retro computing playlist where I've featured various things, including the music maker for the Commodore 64, so check that out if you're interested. So that's why I wanted to introduce it on this channel, because I just think I'm now suddenly so into Commodore again. It is unreal. Yesterday I went through 100 magazines online back in the day of when those magazines were official, and was researching music stuff and that kind of thing. So I can't wait to do a video about Commodore 64 music. Really excited about that. But for now, in this video, we'll be checking it out. So we've got Commodore here. It's like a modernized version. Look at this. They're calling it the Commodore 64 Ultimate, okay? From $300 star. You're able to pre-order it now. You can see these rendering. I mean, this is huge for nostalgia, okay? And for me, they've nailed this in terms of retro futuristic. This is kind of what I'm all about in terms of me as a person. I'm very nostalgic. I love the 80s. I was born in 1980. I am a music producer in terms of synth pop music and synthwave music, producing music that would have happened back then, modernized. And I just love it, you know, absolutely love nostalgia. So this for me is really exciting. Commodore 64 Ultimate, Classic Form, Ultimate Function from $300. We've got honouring the past but innovating the future without the distractions that stole it. And this is an interesting spin, okay, because it goes on to say that Commodore's returned from a parallel timeline where tech stayed optimistic, inviting and human, where it served us, not enslaved us. We're here to bring that feeling back. Retro futurism, transparent tech, digital detox, real innovation. This is the first real Commodore computer in over 30 years, and it's picked up a few new tricks. It's not an emulator, not a PC. Retro gaming heaven in 3 dimensions. Silicon nostalgia and light, powered by a FPGA recreation of the original motherboard, wrapped in glowing game reactive LEDs or classic beige. Compatible with 10,000 plus original retro games, cartridges and peripherals. And this is quite interesting because this has got me thinking, like, what could I start buying now that would really improve this. It's got its own SID sound chip reactive colour changing LED case and keyboard, so that's quite exciting. I love the look of it. Wi-Fi game transfer and USB cassette bursting with classic and new games. So I think what's great about this is, yeah, it goes on, you know, it's modernised. I'm going to have to stop the music, sorry, even though I love the song. So the video just goes on to say, do you remember your first 8-bit computer? There's many times when I think of you. And it's true. I was trying to find a picture of me with the Commodore 64 the other day and I couldn't find it. I had a load of old videotapes and yeah, I would have been around this age. I think maybe 8, 9, something, 7, I can't remember. And I just loved it. I never forget the time that I put in RoboCop 2 cartridge, because before then I always had cassettes. And literally when it loaded instantly, I was absolutely blown away. We do really live in a complicated world, and this kind of brings back its simplicity, which I think is great. It looks so good. That was the first demo I played, the Christmas demo, when I had it for Christmas. I never forget loading it from cassette tape. I had that disc drive, but I sold it recently, and I'm kind of gutted that I did now, because I have pre-ordered one of these. And so I just think it's going to be brilliant. I just hope it's a success, you know. There are some really bad criticisms at the moment from some of the community, and I am really concerned about that, because I want it to work. There's rumours that, like, Perifractic has had a second mortgage on his home. Whether that's true, I don't know. But he's so passionate about this project, about the community, you know, being able to develop. We've got transparent keyboard circuit board to let the text speak for itself, which is nice, isn't it? Original Commodore 64 creator autographs etched forever into the mainboard copper. Spiral bound manual, that's cool because you don't see them anymore. Glossy, classic box and more. Whether you grew up with a Commodore or never heard of one, this is for you. A simpler, distraction-free computing experience, a chance to learn how computers really work, a fun, inviting way to introduce your kids to basic coding, and for the kids still within. I feel like we've gone so far tech-wise. I mean, look at AI explosion. I was looking into, actually, whether it's even possible to make a Commodore 64 game via AI. And it is, but there's loads of syntax errors if you try and do it yourself, and really they're text-based games at the moment. So the ChatGPT models and AI, they're kind of trained on new huge internet data. They're not trained on Commodore 64. There was no internet back then. So AI really struggles currently to create software for the Commodore 64. That's not to say that you can't in the future. I think there's going to be an absolute explosion in the future. And I think then the community will get really excited when people can use tools like ChatGPT to actually create apps and games on the Commodore 64. If we get to that stage, that will be huge. So if you click on I Want One, these are the 3 options that are available to you called Star Systems. This is the one I've gone for. It's the Starlight Edition. Absolutely love the colours with this. I just think it looks amazing. The fact it's translucent is just lovely. There's also a Founders Edition as well. You can see we've got $350 for the Starlight. Ultimate Founders Edition is $500, so it's quite expensive. And then you've got $300 if you want the basic beige. And I was honestly thinking about purchasing like an old Commodore 64, and I was like, well, perhaps I shouldn't, because what if it stops working, you know? So for me, this is why I got so excited. Now, if I click on the Starlight Edition, you get a description of what you get. And okay, that's a dramatic change from yesterday. We were here yesterday, guys. We were about here. And we're now here. Okay, that's really interesting. I've been checking since this dropped, and wow, okay. So this is excluding tax, just to let you know, first of all. So this Starlight Edition, your childhood just leveled up. The first official Commodore 64 in over 30 years is here. A faithful recreation of the original motherboard. Oh, I've already said this stuff. Plug in dusty old cartridges, CRT TVs if you want, data sets or disk drives, it all works. Light up the room with a game sound reactive hidden LED colour changing case, and the world's first translucent mechanical keyboard PCB. Includes a USB. I'm excited about this. Includes a cassette-style USB packed with 50 plus titles, including full games, licensed classics, music, demos, and Commodore's exclusive new sequel to our first ever game, Jupiter Lander Ascension. I can't wait for that USB. That really excites me, actually. Enjoy HDMI clarity, Wi-Fi game transfer, and USB convenience. Hidden inside are the autographed names of the Commodore 64 creators past and present, including Albert, who was the father of the C64, Charpentier, etched forever in the motherboard copper. Obviously, there's the gold label Founders Edition as well, if you want to pay for more. In the box, you get the computer, the user guide, the USB, the quick start guide, stickers, HDMI cables, power supply, and in the glossy original style box. Connections are interesting. You get 3 USB-A's, 1 USB-C, so that's up to date. Micro SD internal slot with a card sold separately, HDMI cable or your DIN, headphone jack or optical SPDIF. I never understood what that was. Is that like the hi-fi cable? I think it is. Ethernet, Wi-Fi, no social media, cassette port, data set port, disk drive port, joystick paddle ports 2, user port. Wow, that's really cool. Now, I'm not a techie, okay? So I'm not going to go into all of this, but you've got 1080p, you've got SID sockets, USB thumb drives via FAT32 and exFAT, file formats, you've got ROM files. So if you've got any old ROM files, they'll work, including those file types as well. Oh, Commodore 64 OS support coming soon. Now, I watched a video about that yesterday. That's quite interesting, seeing a Commodore 64 operating system. Use case? Really, would I use it? I don't know. Again, it's nostalgia, isn't it? Original ROMs will be included under license. Image support. Then you've got 66 key mechanical keyboard. Lighting as well. Adjustable pattern speeds and brightness. It just sounds great, guys. For me, it just sounds great. And in terms of the Kickstart order itself, I can't believe this. That's really crept up. Is this a Kickstarter? Not quite. It's an official Commodore pre-order. That's it for me. It's an official Commodore. That's why I purchased it, pre-ordered it. That's why I've pre-ordered it, because it's official. I could have gone with the Commodore 64 Maxi. I've got the Mini, by the way, downstairs. I love the Mini. But for me, an official Commodore is a big deal. It's just a big deal for me. It's the authentic one, you know. Similar to crowdfunding, every penny goes into manufacturing plus the mission to reboot Commodore itself. By skipping Kickstarter, we avoid big platform fees and pass the savings to you. You're charged now in USD. Just like Kickstarter, etc., your support helps fund production at the factory in advance. You can absolutely get a refund, cancel anytime before shipping with our no quibble money back guarantee for full refund, no questions asked. Okay. What about tariffs? You may have to pay that on top. Isn't this just an emulator? No and no. This is a thoughtfully integrated new hardware-based C64. From the SID creative reactive LEDs in the case, keyboard, even power light to the world's first transparent keyboard PCB that lets the text shine through, to the original and modern creator autographs etched into the motherboard copper, to the replication of the original spelt wrong C64 motherboard, and much more. We have a contract with the previous IP owner that ensures that regardless of the final acquisition outcome, these machines can be manufactured as promised. There are risks involved. It says this pre-order is unusually safe from their point of view. Most parts are already in production. The motherboard, yeah, because like I wanted the C64X, but it was just too expensive, kept selling out. So I do feel that they've already got a lot of this stuff already in place. The motherboard is already a snazzy updated version of one that's been reliable for years. Cases were first manufactured and delivered to customers in January 2025. Keycaps were first produced and shipped in 2024. The only few components remain, like the keyboard base, but the partner has been building premium hardware since the Apple II era. All parts are thoughtfully designed and industry pros to work together seamlessly. There's going to be a warranty in terms of 1 year. You can pay extra for an additional warranty if you want to. Talk about shipping here, and they're not planning any hardware changes now, but reviewing ideas for our launch form, and we'll reach out if it makes the cut. Okay, good. So that, I was really happy with that. Looking at the pictures, it looks so good. Oh my God, that's amazing. I mean, it's mad. Look at that. That looks good. That looks really good. There's something about the Commodore 64, you know. Its limitations. But yet, for the day, it was so powerful, you know. I think it's brilliant. I love the fact you've got USB on there as well. I think that's going to be really good. In terms of the Ultimate one, I'm going to try not to repeat myself. This is known as the Founders Edition. 3/4 gone. Okay, that wasn't like that yesterday. I think words got out, guys. I really do. Now, in terms of this one, this is something even rarer and more collectible. Only 6,400 will ever be made. Inspired by the famous 1 millionth gold Commodore 64, this is the Gold Founders Edition, which adds 24K gold-plated badge, satin gold keys, translucent amber case, commemorative Commodore Gold Seal share certificate, iRebooted CT, 24K gold Commodore badges, dog tag necklace, and a gold label holographic serial number sticker, starting at that boosts the mission to reboot. Okay. One thing I don't know, guys, about this particular edition is whether you still get all the same colours as you did before, or is it just gold? I think it might be just gold. I could be wrong. I don't know. Looks pretty cool. But for me, I mean, now I'm interested because I've got a feeling it might sell out. But don't forget, this is... oh no, there's not going to be any more, is there? There's only over 5,000 left, which sounds like a lot, but when it's worldwide, it really isn't. Start shipping in October, they reckon. Okay. This is... should I have gone for one of these? It's a lot of money, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I've already spent like £333 on the Starlight edition. And then there's the basic beige, which for me, when I saw the Starlight, for me, oh my God, there was no comparison. But for a lot of people, they like it. Now, this is batch 1, okay? Now, obviously, it's not going to be batch 1. It's only going to be batch 1 for the Founders Edition. But for the Starlight Edition, it's also... it doesn't say batch 1 here, though. Where's it gone? Where's it? Oh, there we go. Oh, my God. I thought it sold out then. So it's only 9,000, just over 9,000 left in batch 1. Okay, so these will be reproduced in batch 2 and batch 3, I reckon. But not the Founders Edition. Ooh, should I have gone for the Founders Edition? I don't know. I get FOMO, guys, fear of missing out. I really do. So the beige one, you got 8,000, less than 8,500. Okay. I think this could all go, you know. It could all sell. I just think it's brilliant. But yeah, I saw a video yesterday on YouTube and it was not complimentary at all. But still. Oh, wow. That's new. They're selling the PC version, the 64X, from their available partner. Okay. I like the operating system of the PC version. I really do. I thought it was something really special. But yeah, it's not official. You can get joysticks, you can get cables, adapters, dog tags, t-shirts, sweatshirts, mouse pad, caps. So in terms of branding, they're really trying to be on point here. I like that one. That one's really nice. It's interesting, isn't it? And if you want a warranty, an extra warranty for, well, if you want Commodore Plus warranty for one, it's $50, just to let you know. We've been sleeping for 30 years. That's so funny. In terms of the other stuff that we've got the About section, okay? Retrofuturism. A lot of people know a lot more about the original Commodore company than I did, so I'm not going to go into that. There's a lot of good documentaries on YouTube about it. There's also the team. I'm not going to go too much into this. But this is Christian here, Perifactic, co-founder and CEO. And you might recognise, if you know the Commodore brand company well, who these people are. I personally don't, okay? People are probably screaming at the TV right now, but I honestly don't. So I'm being honest. So that's the team. It goes back to what I said before. I think it's good that they've brought people back that worked for Team Commodore company in the past. I think it's really good. So they got what's the product strategy, retro and modern. Is this all just nostalgia? Nostalgia is one of two core pillars alongside modern innovation, retro futurism. Will Commodore's return hunt small developers? No. We fully support the community that's kept Commodore alive. Do you know what I'd really like to see? Do you remember when you got the magazines and like you always had a cassette tape of demos and games on that cassette, or even 2 cassettes on the magazine? I'd love that to be brought back. I know we've got certain retro magazines in the likes of W.H. Smith and ones that are online only. But I'd like to see this brand come alive again. I really would. I think there's a lot of power here. This brand, people have a lot of love for Commodore. And I think it would be great to see stuff come back. To get people excited about it again. People obviously are excited because they're selling. So that's good. They're talking about how much you charge and how to get your product endorsed by Commodore. I think that would be quite interesting. They are looking at the Amiga trademarks as well to see if they could acquire those, but obviously there comes to a big cost for that. For those who actually want to use the official logos or branding, they'll be offering a simple and fair licensing pathway later this year directly through the website. It'll include a quality control pipeline and other tools, but there's no pressure, no obligation. And they're just going to, past owners charged flat fees or high percentages, but they just want to do 6.4% of net sales full stop, which is Commodore 6.4. If you sell a product, say a Commodore case badge for $1, you send us 6 cents. No setup fees, no hassle. We want to support creators, not drain them, while keeping Commodore from blipping out again at the same time. Now that's interesting. I did, many years ago, I did an Amiga album of all of the tracker music that I produced on the Amiga back in the day. And that could be interesting. I wonder if I could do a Commodore one. That would be quite interesting. In fact, I'd like to think it's still there. Let me have a quick look at Spotify and see if it's there. So my artist back then was known as John Tracker. And yeah, this was the album. So John Tracker on Spotify and other DSPs. You've got 2010, I released this. 15 years ago, guys. And you've got the album cover there, and you got the tracks down here. It would be amazing if I could do a Commodore 164. I think that would be really good follow-on, to be fair. But we'll see. I will talk about that in a future video. I digress. I really do digress. My name now is Cyber Monday, by the way, but I haven't got the Amiga album on Cyber Monday. Got all my other music on Cyber Monday. They really don't like social media in terms of, you know, understanding that this is about a digital detox brand. But they realise that social media is still important because it's where the community gather, connect, talk, share updates, etc. They've got a lot of Japanese text, which you might have seen on the merch, which is the Japanese katakana spelling for Commodore. So it's a bit geekish, I suppose. Amiga was a Commodore, later at least, but officially not yet, though we'd love it to be, and we won't repeat the mistakes of the past relating to that. We're in open dialogue with the most relevant rights holders to explore a potential reunion. I'd be very interested in an official Amiga 500, 1200. Can you imagine Amiga 1200? Or even 600? They've formed this formal share purchase agreement for the purchase of 47 trademarks, the oldest of which dates back to 1983, which was Let's Buy Commodore series. I love that song. The final stages now come to fruition. They're looking at the complete financial completion of the acquisition. They're saying that it's not a cash grab. I mean, in terms of the YouTuber himself, I can't think of anybody better to do this, really. He's so excited and passionate about Commodore. They say that AI video isn't used in marketing. My son saw the advert and he was convinced it was AI generated. I didn't think it was. And they're saying that it's not. A partner channel, Retro Recipes, uses clearly labelled AI to raise a smile. But it's separate from Commodore, the corporation, though, and that's clearly stated on the channel. They stay in close contact with Retro Games Limited in terms of the Commodore 64 Mini, the Commodore 64 Maxi, the A500 Mini, and its upcoming big sister. They want to have a joined up family of Commodore machines from superb value, low latency emulators to premium chip systems. Collaboration, not competition, is how we build a stronger future for fans. I completely agree with that. So there you go. That is Commodore. So if you want to check it out and you want to grab one before they sell out, I've got a feeling they are going to sell out with looking at these stats. You go to commodore.net and then you choose which one you want. So just to give you a bit of a recap, the Starlight, okay, there's 9,000 left, just over 9,000 as of recording this video. I think that's going to go. I think the Founders Edition will go first, potentially. I just think because of the rarity of it, they really are not going to make many of these. So only 6,400 will ever be made. So we'll see how we get on. And the basic beige, I wonder if they've just retweaked this, reprogrammed it to make it look better than what it is. I'm trying not to be skeptical, but I cannot help feel that it starts at a set. Come on, show me. I will when you show me the statistics. Oh, it's being funny now. It's being a bit buggy, isn't it? No, doesn't want to do it. Okay, fair enough. So there you go. If you are interested, you can pre-order now and you can cancel if you want, if you change your mind. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it's been a bit of a long one, but I really wanted to feature what's going on right now, and I'm excited about this. I'm so excited. They're bringing back the Commodore 64. It's amazing, and it's just got me so interested in it again, considering it's been over 30 years, and I'm suddenly really into it again. I just think it just shows the potential of what's possible here. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm expecting different viewpoints here. I really am. And I think there will be different people's point of view. But at the end of the day, if you're not interested, you don't have to order, do you? You really don't have to order. And I'll catch you on the next one. Hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye.